Hey, what's up, guys? Kevin here. So, due to the lack of exciting content in wrestling, I've kind of eased up on the wrestling content, focusing on MMA. We just went to the UFC Fort Lauderdale show, headlined by Jack Hermanson and Jacare Souza. It was amazing. But, we're gonna be talking NBA basketball in this episode. A little bit of wrestling here and there, but early on, Hassan gets very annoyed by the lack of intrigue, and quite frankly, I think he just wanted to talk about his Boston Celtics. So bear with me. We know we have Double or Nothing coming up. We've got Money in the Bank coming up, and it's gonna pick up. We're gonna be talking about wrestling, but for now, stay tuned to the YouTube channel and the podcast. We're gonna be talking about all things MMA, basketball, wrestling coming up soon. So thank you. Ah, man, look at that time. It's time for another exciting edition of Wrestling with Heat.
We're back.
We got our boy Hassan in the building. We're going to be talking NBA playoffs, but I want to do some wrestling talk because, the show is Wrestling with Heat, and that's what we're here for. We're here to talk wrestling, but this is the time of the year when not a lot of people, including myself, are paying as close attention to wrestling or any attention at all to wrestling, right?
Yes, sir. It's the downtime.
Yeah, I mean, we got the only news really that came out of the week was Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles being booked for Money in the Bank later on in May.
Yep.
Before we talk about that, though, I want to ask you, what did you think of that? Like the way they booked that. They had everybody think it was going to be Baron Corbin getting the spot, right? Like that's kind of the way they were going.
It was just a classic case of WWE just rushing into it instead of organically letting it build and saving that story for a bigger event. It would have been a safe bet to have it been Corbin, so build him up, give him some heels to work with, but clearly they're going with the money grab first.
All right, and how much of a money grab is it if nobody's watching?
I mean, to be fair, the Money in the Bank pay-per-view has produced some pretty good matches, and the card even last year wasn't even bad. So it's been the one of the better pay-per-views WWE produces.
Yeah, would you say it's the fifth most important behind the big four?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it. It feels like Night of Champions, I think, was that for a while.
Yeah.
But then I don't even. Do they still do Night of Champions?
No.
I don't even remember. Yeah, no, they don't. But so let's talk about Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. That's really like a match that a lot of quote unquote hardcore fans and diehard fans wanted. I don't think it ever happened. They may have crossed paths a while back, but I don't remember it ever happening.
Never happened in WWE.
Yeah, outside of WWE, I was referring to. I don't know. It may have happened in Ring of Honor or somewhere in the Indies. I'm not sure.
It has happened on the Indies.
I'm Paige, and the little thing that I like about the grilled chicken sandwich is that.
Okay, it's got a random ad playing. I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah, it has happened on WWE on the Indies. I mean, it's happened on the Indies, but not in WWE.
Is that a fact? Did they really wrestle on the Indies one time?
I'm 80% sure.
Let's see if I can find that real quick.
Sure.
Let's see. I don't know. I don't see anything.
I could have sworn I saw Seth Rollins mention it in a WWE documentary about how influential AJ Styles was in his career and working with him when he was coming up.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't look like it's happening, or it has happened rather. I don't think so. But either way, if somebody's seen it and they know, I'm sure we'll hear about it. But so this was a match that a lot of people thought could headline WrestleMania. Well, maybe not headline WrestleMania next year, but be a very important match. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to be champion that long, so I think it was a good realistic move to get it out of the way now while you still can, because I don't think Rollins will hold the belt past SummerSlam. Right? Am I right? Do you really see Seth Rollins holding on to the belt for a whole year?
I can see Seth Rollins going into Mania as champion.
I don't know. I don't see it, but if you do, hey.
No, not that I see it. I just think they have an idea in mind that they want to execute, which is Roman versus Seth at Mania.
With Seth going in with the championship, and then so Roman's gonna wind up back on Raw somehow.
Oh shit! I'm so sorry. I forgot Roman's on SmackDown. Now this is how little of the product I've been watching.
Yeah, look at that. Roman he was not announced as the biggest acquisition in SmackDown history. It was actually Elias.
Yeah. Then that being said, I think you're right. I don't think Seth might be going to SmackDown. I mean Raw as the champion.
In WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. What the
fuck let's not get so far ahead of ourselves though. Let's look at what's in front of us. I think it was a good idea, right?
It was.
Maybe it would have been best to save it for SummerSlam, but I mean, Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin would be one of those pay-per-view matches that everybody would look at like, wow, this is fucking terrible. Like, even 10 years from now, that would be frowned upon.
Yeah, like, why are we doing this?
Yeah, exactly. Like, is this really necessary?
Yeah.
Baron Corbin is, I know he's your favorite wrestler. I know he's your boy right now,
Why would you lie to the
audience? Who else was in that? It was The Miz, right? Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and then there was one other person that was in that like whole 2 triple threat match type deal. Struggling, I can't remember right now. I don't know. Either way, I thought it would have been cool if they would have did like Rey Mysterio maybe, and then at the next pay-per-view they could do AJ, or at SummerSlam they could do AJ. I don't know if it was necessary to get this out the way, but yeah. I think with Rollins not going into WrestleMania, I think they really had seemingly no other option. But
I mean, it's gonna be a great match.
Huh?
It's gonna be a great match.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and the triple threat was great, and that little singles match they had with Corbin and AJ was decent. But
oh yeah, that Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, and AJ match was fucking great. That was a great match.
Yeah, AJ has chemistry with just about everybody, and it shows. But what do you think about SmackDown? Did you see Kevin Owens turning on Kofi Kingston?
I was so happy.
Yeah, you love heel Kevin Owens, right?
I was just so uncomfortable watching him be a babyface and just trying to get pops. I was like, this is horrible.
I thought the stuff they were doing with the New Day was kind of funny though.
Yeah, but I don't want to see Kevin Owens in that light. Badass heel. I want to see him as a badass heel.
Yeah, that's what he does best. That's obviously what he does best. But we all knew it was coming, and I personally wish they would have held it on just a few more weeks because I enjoyed him as the Big O. I thought it was kind of funny.
His Big E impersonations were freaky. How accurate they were.
Yeah, seriously, it was dead on.
Oh, he sounds like him.
Did you see Sami Zayn's promo from Raw?
No. He got another. Was it good?
It was good until he started showing a slideshow of himself, of Photoshop pictures of himself at places like the Eiffel Tower, and other various landmarks. And then he was like it was good. The first 2-3 minutes was good, and then he did the slideshow, and then it just became pro wrestling when he was like, "Oh, I'm miserable to be here in Des Moines, Iowa." I liked it up until if you take that part out, I thought it was an excellent promo. He was just calling everybody marks again. And I was listening to Vince Russo's podcast not too long ago. I think it was Russo. I don't know. It might have been Russo or somebody else. But he said that Sami Zayn should just come out and explain to everybody what a mark is. He thinks he thinks that would be funny. What do you think about that idea, going that inside?
Nah, I think that'd be a bit overkill.
Mm-hmm.
I like where he's going right now with his character. It's just it gets a little redundant where he's degrading the fans. It just needs less is more.
Yeah, and but I'm curious where this is gonna go. He's gotten big spots since he came back to WWE from injury. He's had 3 big promos but I'm just curious where this goes. I don't know if it leads to maybe a main event run or an upper mid card run. I'm not sure because Samoa Joe is also a heel, so seemingly he's not in the United States title picture. And I don't really know what could be next for him. You know.
I think he could be next online for the title.
Next to face Rollins.
Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of stumped. Like, maybe he could feud with Cesaro. That would be good, you know, for the short term, because he and Cesaro had some good matches back in the day in NXT. I don't know if you remember those. So I guess it'd be good to see them wrestle again.
It would, but I feel like they're about to give Sammy a push.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. So he'll just cut promos for a few weeks, and then he'll get Rollins at some point. I could see that. So what do you think about the I forgot what was their name? The Viking Experience 2 weeks ago. Now they're called the Viking Raiders.
Oh Christ! Wasn't their name on the Indies War Machine?
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with War Machine? That's a good name.
I don't know. Some people get to keep their names, some don't. I don't know.
Like, seriously. Like, come on. You guys are overdoing this.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people were so mad about the Viking Experience, and I guess that changed Vince's mind, right? Do you think Vince is reading all those comments on Twitter, and he's like, oh, we gotta change their name, pal?
I don't know. I think Vince could care less about our opinions. I just think he didn't like it.
Like, he realized, like, oh, this is so 1980s.
They sound like 1980s wrestlers, yes.
They look like 1980s wrestlers too, just that are more athletic. Okay, so there's two things I want to touch on Raw. Really, I mean, we're just kind of breezing through this real quick. Actually, no, three things, because I want to ask you about Becky Lynch. I mean, she had a match with Alicia Fox. Like, I think that kind of speaks for herself. Do you think that she peaked out after she won the title at WrestleMania? Do you think that was it for her as a big star?
No, I just think
they have nothing else better to do with her right now.
That, and I'll put it like this. I'll compare it to like work, like, cause like I'll compare it to like you work in retail and I work in retail. We all know that the dead months in retail are right after the holidays.
Yeah. And then it picks up again in back to school season.
Exactly. This is the dead months of WWE.
Well, yeah, I get that, but just like seemingly even in the dead months, you know, Charlotte, the person that was the company, you know, the company face of women's wrestling for the last few years, even she was doing meaningless stuff every week, not just out there cutting the same recycled promo that Becky's been doing now and fighting Alicia Fox. Like, my God.
I just think personally that creative and booking and everything right now is just going to be very stale until we get to SummerSlam.
Yeah, it's gonna be stale, no doubt about that. I'm curious. So you don't think Becky has peaked out? You think that she still has a lot of juice as the face of the women's division?
I don't think she's peaked out. I just think the Becky 2 belts thing could peak her out because I don't think she should have 2 titles.
Yeah, do you think she's gonna drop it to Charlotte? One of them, the SmackDown title, probably.
I think she's dropping the title to Charlotte, and she's gonna be on Raw.
Yeah, I think it makes the most sense having her on Raw and keeping those two separate because, you know, you still have a big crop of talent in the women's division that's not being utilized, like Ember Moon and just to name one.
Yeah, exactly. And it would just make more sense with the brand extension to have a champion on each show.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, before we get to the real thing I want to talk about, we got to talk about Mr. Robert Roode, who made his return with the 80s porn stash, and he's going by the glorious Robert Roode. And he beat Ricochet. You know, after not doing anything for the last like 17 months, whatever the hell, however long he's been on the main roster, he's got this repackaged gimmick and he beats one of the hottest stars in the company. I did not like it. What did you think about it?
I didn't care.
Yeah.
I didn't care, but I really liked his mustache.
Yeah, the mustache does look good, but I'm curious why it took so long to do something with Bobby Roode. You know, like why did it take this long to get something meaningful out of him?
It's WWE. I don't know any, but like these are their months they experiment, and if something clicks, they go with it. If something don't, they throw it back in the tool shed. These are the months they experiment. If I was part of WWE town, I would take advantage of any opportunity right now because these are the months they experiment and anybody and everybody can be utilized. Once they get to SummerSlam into the fall, they know which players they want in the main shows.
But what took so long though to get like Bobby Roode came into the main roster as being the face of NXT, and then he just did nothing. He flip-flopped the U.S. title, and then he got stuck with Chad Gable once he moved to Raw. I don't know. I'm hoping he gets something though.
He's a super talented guy. He should have been in much more big money matches and feuds. It puzzles me. I have no idea.
Yeah, he was my favorite wrestler in TNA for some time. When they first broke him up from James Storm.
Yeah.
And he was doing his whole heel thing. Like this was after they fucking buried AJ Styles and Samoa Joe 20 feet under, and Bobby Roode was like the only homegrown talent that was getting pushed next to all the other guys from WWE. You know. I don't know if do you remember those days?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, those were tough days.
The dog days TNA.
Yeah. Oh man, that's a trip down memory lane. But Ricochet gets beat. Do you think it matters at all that Ricochet got beat here?
No, if he got beat, because knowing WWE on Monday, Ricochet would probably beat Robert Roode in the rematch, 50-50 booking.
Right. Then they'll fight in the pre-show of Money in the Bank.
Exactly.
So, yes, you knew I was going to ask you about this, and we got to talk about this. But Bray Wyatt debuted his lovely new character, the Firefly Funhouse, and he's reading books to children. Yeah, he's reading books to children.
Yeah,
and he has a buzzard puppet and a doll. Yeah. I'm reading the recap of this segment on Bleacher Report, and the editor of this, or the writer of this article, gave this segment an A+. I'm not sure what they were watching. They might have been watching something else.
Listen, when I watched it, I had an initial negative reaction. I'm like, oh my god, he's about to die. This is it. This is the end of him. He's finished. But then I watched it a second and third time, and I really wanted to dissect what they were going for. I think at the end of this, he will be the old Bray Wyatt. I just think they're transitioning him back to old Bray Wyatt with this character. Because it looked like from the promos, he looked like a reformed psychopath who is trying to just fight off his old self. But he's having a lot of trouble with it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much the summary of what it was. And the question here is Bray Wyatt, like, it's too early to judge this, right? We don't know what's going to happen next week or even a month from now. But do you think Bray Wyatt still has the charisma to be a top guy, or do you think his time has moved on? His time has passed, rather.
It's WWE. You just need to be good on the mic to get over and get a good spot. If you're good in the ring, it's an added bonus. I think I feel like this is the last effort. This is the last push right here that we're seeing. But
and how long was he gone? How long was he off TV? Since like September, October of last year?
Yeah, he's been off TV for a while.
And this is what they came up with in his grand return?
Yes, sir. It's WWE creative at its finest.
Wow. Yeah, I was watching this and I was just thinking, oh, this is, pedophile.
Brutal.
This dude's a pedophile. He's talking to everybody like they're kids, and he looks like he just looked like a pedophile, bro. He looked like just somebody that walks around elementary schools. I don't know. I don't want to get too weird. But that's just the vibe that I got. All right, moving on. Let's talk about SmackDown for just a second. Did you see the opening segment of SmackDown where Shane McMahon was bitch slapping Roman Reigns?
No, I didn't watch that.
Yeah, you should go back and see that.
Let's go to the playoffs. I'm sick of wrestling at this point.
Yeah. Yeah, there's really nothing else to talk about. Oh, Lars Sullivan beat up R-Truth again. Wow.
Yay. NBA playoffs.
Yeah, let's talk about the NBA playoffs. There's really nothing here. Okay, I guess we should start with the fact that round 1 finally ended when Denver put the San Antonio Spurs out of their misery.
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
San Antonio had plenty of opportunities. They blew it. Jamal Murray proved me wrong. I'll say it. Man,
he's looking like a stud, huh?
And like a stud, proved me wrong. Hit some crazy shots down the stretch that looked really tough. Denver's a very formidable team. They play really, really, really good defense. Their defense rotations were ridiculous. I think the fans are in for a treat with Denver versus Portland. I got Portland though.
So you're still not buying into Denver? You think Portland's going to take care of them?
No, I just think the type of zone that Dame is in right now. I can't see anyone to stop it. He's in a special zone right now.
I think if Denver could just figure out how to use Millsap, they should be able to handle Portland just for the mere fact that Portland has no big man that can even think about guarding Millsap or Jokic right now. With Kanter being hurt and Nurkic being hurt, like they just don't have anybody on the front.
Yeah, but CJ McCollum and Dame, it's gonna be a headache for them.
Yeah, it's a lot of talent. I believe in Portland. You know, as you know, Damian Lillard is my favorite player, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how it's gonna go. I'm curious.
And Dame just seems like he's at a point where he's had enough. He's had enough of the premature exits and losses, where he's just in another zone right now. That's why I'm putting all my chips on Dame. He just seems like he's in another zone right now.
Yeah, I'm picking them to go to the conference finals as well. I think that they're like you said, they're playing on another level. They're playing on another atmosphere right now. But it's going to be a good series. It's probably going to go 7.
Yeah. Which I think
hold on
Portland could win because
Go ahead.
Denver almost lost to San Antonio at home. Game 7. That game could have gone either way. So yeah, I'm going with Portland.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, Portland. I mean, the only problem, like I said, is the big man issue. You know, that's the only problem that I see happening. Like, do you think Canada is even gonna play? Like, I saw that he might not play. He took a nasty dive.
I think he's playing, but the thing is that Portland is a much, much, much improved defensive team that people are giving them credit for. They're much improved defensively.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
That's why I give them the edge, because they're more physical. And at a certain point, experience is going to kick in with this Denver this young Denver team, and Portland has more experience.
And either way, do you think that either of these teams could beat Houston or Golden State?
No, not a chance. But I do think Portland could go 6 with Golden State.
Well, let's talk about Golden State. So they beat the Warriors today. I mean, not Golden State beat the Rockets today.
Yeah.
104-100, and what was a back and forth game. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I did. Refs missed a lot of calls.
Yeah, did you agree that Harden should have been fouled more times than he was?
Yeah, there was one play where Clay gave him no airspace to make his landing, which was clearly a foul.
Right, and then the other time when Draymond tried to trip him on his way down.
Yeah, he was fouled.
Yeah, did you see that where Harden was like, "Oh, remember Kawhi when Pachulia broke Kawhi's ankle?" Like, man, Harden was going all out. He was mad.
He's right though.
He is right.
Kawhi hurt himself the same. He was literally given no airspace to land, and same thing. I was thinking that when I was watching the play, I'm like, so is this how they play defense now? Like, he has no airspace.
Yeah, and the refs are like, "Oh, I don't see it." You know, they're like watching Bird Box.
Yeah, it was a horrible officiated game. It should have been a lot closer.
But the other side of the coin too, like I know a lot of people hate the way James Harden plays. Like he's probably the most polarizing guy in the NBA right now. Some people love him and some people hate him. Like he gets a lot of calls. So is like one no call a big deal, or like what do you think it is? Just the hometown cooking, or just the refs are like, all right, play on? Like, what do you think it is?
Hometown cooking, but a little bit of the refs too. I mean, I know he gets a lot of calls, but like the calls that he gets in the paint are debatable. Most definitely, 100%. That jump shot foul was blatant as shit.
What? Which one? The one with Draymond?
Clay.
With Clay? Yeah. Yeah, but there are times, though, where I'm watching and I'm like, that's a flop, you know? Like, he barely gets grazed on the hand, and he's, like, sliding across the court, you know, after taking a three.
And he sells it like a motherfucker. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, I think, you know, you got to ease up on the flopping if you want to get those calls, because the refs are just looking at it like, okay, this guy's flopping again.
I do think Game 2 Houston's getting, though.
It's going to be in Golden State, right? So they're going to play 2 in Golden State. Yeah. Well, why do you think that? Like, you think what do you think it is? I mean, Chris Paul's got to get more involved, right?
That Houston will make adjustments, and I think more calls might go Houston's way. Because I feel like Houston and Golden State has 7 games written all over it again.
Yeah, hopefully those guys can stay healthy too. You know, Clay was banged up. I know that. Chris Paul got hurt last year, and he's still tough through it, but he just wasn't able to play those last 2 games. That's really what it comes down to, right? Is if somebody gets injured?
Yeah, health. I mean, it's actually a good thing that the Rockets got the Warriors this early, because if they got them again in the conference finals, we'll know that Chris Paul could have stayed healthy again.
And where is Gerald Green? Like, he played 7 minutes in the game. Like, is he that much of a liability on defense at this point?
I don't know. That's what I mean by adjustments. I think D'Antoni's going to give him more burn because they could use his scoring.
Right. Like, is Shumpert really worth playing 21 minutes? You know, is Shumpert really that good of a defender?
I just think they're overthinking the absence of Trevor Ariza and trying to throw any type of defenders at the Warriors. I don't think it's that serious, though.
Yeah,
Stick with the lineup that got you to all those wins.
And Kenneth Faried not getting any playing time? Like, I'm confused.
He get playing time because he could have a factor in this series. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, you got to have somebody that can get rebounds. And who was it? Who was it that was guarding Steph on the game-winning shot? Was it Capella?
I don't remember.
And I think it was Capella that was guarding him. I know it was a big man matchup, and I just remember everybody was going crazy that I was watching it with, and it was.
Yeah, I should with the dagger.
That's just what Steph does, and isn't it funny like that Kevin Durant still cannot get any credit? You know, he gets no credit. I mean, yeah, Stephen A. Smith, or what? I don't know if it was Stephen A. Smith, but somebody on ESPN said he's the best player in the world. But other than that, you know, from the casual fan or even like the people that watch something more NBA than the casual fans, everybody's like, that's Steph Curry's team.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
He's the heart and soul of that team. They don't feel the same. They don't play the same when he's not there.
Yeah, that's what I was telling people that, you know, they're like, oh well, it wouldn't make a difference, you know, if it was just Clay and Kevin Durant, they would still go far. And I'm like, how would they go far without Steph Curry? He's the most unguardable player in the world right now.
Exactly. He's unguardable. He makes all of them better. He makes other defenses pay. Every time people are playing the Warriors, they are on high alert of Steph Curry because you have to literally guard him from half court.
His stat sheet does not show the impact that he has on a game. You know,
100%. Yeah.
He only averages like 5-6 assists, 6 rebounds, but his impact is far greater than that because you have to be wary of where he is at all times. You know, just no matter what. Like, there's times where Klay Thompson can get stuck on the corner waiting for the ball. There are times where you can trap Kevin Durant and he'll be kind of confused what to do. But Curry, you trap him, he's gonna find the right guy, and then he's gonna get the ball right back and shoot a 3. You know, he's impossible to guard.
And he makes their offense just so much more unstoppable.
Yeah, he's changed the game too, in every way.
Definitely.
And on the Warriors side, aside from Curry, who do you think was big? You know, I mean, aside from Curry and Durant, who do you think is going to be the X factor? With Clay not looking like himself, obviously. Draymond Green looks a step off. He's still annoying, you know, on the defensive end, but he still looks a step off, don't you think?
Yeah, he does, but I feel like just today is the most consistent I saw him on offense.
Yeah, but Iguodala is still their X factor, right?
For Golden State, yeah, because he can cover so much ground.
Yeah, he's pesty on defense. No team has an Iguodala on their team.
Yes, we do. We got Marcus Smart.
Well, is he playing right now?
No.
Exactly.
Get Boston.
All right, well, let's talk Boston. I know you're excited to talk about your C's.
Sure.
The lovely Celtics. So they beat the Bucks in handy fashion. Did the Bucks even have a lead at any point in the game?
Yeah, I think after halftime they went up. They had a lead in the second quarter as well. They went up 1 when they came back from 15, and then after that it was tied. But halftime, going into after the third quarter, they never had a lead.
Yeah, so it was back and forth for most of the first half, and then the Celtics took off. Well, what do you think it was for the Celtics that really ignited that?
Their game plan and their defense was just spectacular.
Yeah, the defense that Horford was playing on Giannis was incredible. I think every team should watch that tape and try to figure out ways to stop Giannis.
Dude, I was literally shocked. I was like, I was shocked at the game plan and how well executed it was, and then the rotations, and then they were like literally building a bridge around Giannis where he didn't have angles.
Yeah, he obviously struggled not in his own scoring, but he had 2 assists. Brook Lopez only had 5 shot attempts. Eric Bledsoe only had 5 shot attempts, so it was tough to get the rest of the team involved.
Oh, I'm so happy you brought that up. Thank you. I would like to let it be known that last year in the playoffs, Eric Bledsoe got his ass kicked by third year guard, Terry Rozier. Today, new series, new year. Yep. Kyrie Irving is back. Terry Rozier is back to the bench role. Right. I would like to pull up the stat sheet. 1 moment, kind sir.
Yes, sir. Okay. Go ahead.
Yes. So Terry Rozier had 11 points, 50% shooting from the field,
9 rebounds. Wow.
Yes. And Mr. Eric Bledsoe had 6 points, 1 of 5 from the field, which is 20%, and 0 of 4 from 3. So we are already 1 game in, and Terry Rozier is kicking Eric Bledsoe's ass a year later. Once again, thank you.
What do you think is the Bucks' problem?
Stretch bigs. I've noticed this for a while, and noticed this the 3 times that we played them. Stretch bigs are really their Achilles. Like, it really fucks up their defense.
You're talking about opposing team stretch bigs?
Yeah. Opposing team stretch bigs is a really big fucking problem for the Bucks, because their whole defense is predicated on interior defense locking up and just switching.
Yeah, I mean, they could not guard Kyrie, who had 28 points, 11 assists. Al Horford had 20
and 11.
Yeah.
And most of Al's points were off the pick and pops of Kyrie. That's what I'm saying. They can't guard.
Well, Brook Lopez, I don't know. I don't think he knows how to spell defense.
No, they're even talking about it on halftime. He is a good rim protector.
Yes, good rim protector, but he cannot play pick and roll guarding a big man.
No.
Guarding a stretch big, he cannot do that. Asking him to get out on Horford or on Marcus Morris, it's not going to happen.
And I know what people are going to say, they haven't played in a week. Guys, guess what? The Celtics haven't played in a week either.
Yeah, it's
they
true.
Haven't played in a week either.
No, you're right.
They're just as rusty, and they just beat them in certain spots today. Do I expect the Bucks to shoot better the next game? Hell yes. Will they have a better game plan? Probably. Will Giannis fucking put his fucking foot on our throat? Probably. But
yeah, the idea that Boston's gonna win 2 games in Milwaukee does not seem likely.
If it happens, I think both of us will be completely shocked.
Yeah, if that happens, I think that's gonna take the morale out of out of Milwaukee. And it's going to be tough for them to come back from that.
It really will, because going down 0-2, going to Boston.
Yeah, it's
that
tough.
Crowd. It's gonna be very, very tough for you to get out 2. I think they'll get 1, but to get 2.
And I'm looking at the stat sheet, and I'm noticing here that Jason Tatum had 3 blocks. Talk about doing everything.
And that's the part where it has me a little bit even more optimistic about Boston for the next game, because Tatum didn't have a good game.
No, he didn't. He only took 7 shots, and that's it. He didn't take any free throws. He had 4 points. So that they have so many options, though. You got Gordon Hayward still, who's coming to life in front of
13
us.
points. Yeah, 13 efficient points.
Yeah, and he's looked phenomenal since the first round of the playoffs and late into the season last year. And I mean, everything looks good right now for the Celtics, and this is the team that we thought they could be once the playoffs happened.
The weird thing is they look like they've all assimilated to their roles, and the beautiful thing is if they do advance and Marcus Smart comes back, Marcus Smart's the type of guy where he doesn't care if he's coming off the bench or starting.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Marcus Smart. You brought him up, you eased me right into it. Do you think that Marcus Smart getting hurt was low key the best thing that happened to this team, because it helped Brad Stevens figure out a set roles and set rotation?
I'm so glad you asked me that. Hell yes. Because Jaylen Brown has quietly been playing great for the Celtics for 3 months now, but he's been on the bench, and most Celtic fans have wanted him to start again because he had 19 points today. I love Marcus Smart, but he can just produce. Jaylen can produce more consistent points than Marcus does, because Marcus does the dirty work that doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
Yeah, he's a little Iguodala, like we said.
Yeah, so him getting hurt put Jaylen back into the lineup, which bolstered the Celtics' offense, shortened up the rotations. Guys are happier when they know their minutes and their roles.
Yes, sir.
The Celtics clearly look more happy right now. Guys know their minutes and their roles.
Yeah, and everybody's touching the ball. Everybody's getting their shots, and another guy, Marcus Morris, who didn't really have much of an impact on the offensive end, but he had some blocks and some rebounds too. So I mean, it's just all about doing the little things, and that's what they're doing right now.
It was a great team effort. Their game plan was excellent, but they're gonna have to play lights out Tuesday to have a chance, because I feel like there's a storm coming Tuesday.
Yeah, they're gonna have a tough time stopping the Giannis train again. He's right there with Steph Curry as like the most unguardable players in the league. And I know you said off air that Mirotic needs to play more. And like, what did you mean by that? Like, you were saying, like with Mirotic.
Because I do think if the Bucks lose Game 2, they have to think about adjustments in terms of the lineup. And if I were the Bucks, I would go big on Boston, where I would take out Sterling Brown out of the lineup and do it Chris Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, Mirotic at the 3, Giannis at the 4, and Lopez at the 5. So you have ridiculous amount of floor spacing. You have three shooters around Giannis, and you have height.
And then maybe Bledsoe could get some work in on that lineup as well, because you could stretch the floor and let Bledsoe go into the paint.
Yeah, you can get him into the paint. You can do pick and pops with Mirotic. It adds a lot of more versatility, and that lineup could give the Celtics a lot of problems.
They just have to find a way to get Horford out of the paint. They gotta find a way to get Horford, out of there from disrupting their offense in the paint.
Yeah, because Horford was like literally amazing today on defense.
Yeah, he still got it. He was playing Hall of Fame defense, that Hall of Fame badge defense on Giannis.
That possession where he had 2 back-to-back blocks on Giannis, I was like, wow.
No, yeah, the whole city of Boston was going nuts for that one.
But I still think this is going to be a long series. I think it's going to go 6 or 7. What do you think?
I think it's going to go 7. I think this one's going to go 7, and I think Portland and Denver is going to go 7 for sure.
Same.
I'm not sure. Go ahead.
This was a really, really, really important win for Boston, because I do think if Boston went down in this game in blowout fashion, the the sensitivity is so thin with Boston that it would have brought their morale and their confidence down, and it would have been bad for them going into Game 2. They had to get Game 1. They had to steal home court from Milwaukee.
Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting series to keep our eyes on. Now we're gonna talk about the last series though. Now one series that I don't think is gonna be interesting is Toronto versus Philly.
No, I think it's a sweep.
Yeah, it's like I think Toronto's gonna win it in 5. That would be my prediction. I think Toronto's the best team in the East right now. I don't think anybody's gonna beat them. I think they're going to the finals. That would be my prediction right now. You heard it here, yes sir. But when I look at the stat line, I'm just looking at the number of shots. I didn't get a chance to see this game. I wasn't home yesterday, but Ben Simmons only took 8 shots.
How many points?
He had 14 points. He did his thing out there. 14 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, couple steals. But you've got Tobias Harris and Embid taking a lot of shots. Redick taking 13 shots. Ben Simmons got to take more than 10 shots. He's 6'10". He's a 6'10" point guard. There's no reason why this guy should not be dominating the game. Am I right?
He just chills out too much on offense. He just plays it way too cool. Like, dude, attack.
Yeah, seriously. And we know he's not going to shoot.
Attack.
Yeah, he's 6'10", 6'9", with a 7-foot wingspan. It's incredible. I mean, you have him and Embid on the pick and roll, and you can make things happen. Or him and Tobias Harris, or he can set screens for Redick, or Jimmy Butler. Like, I'm not sure what's going on, but Philly looked outmatched, and we said it. We've been saying this all along that Kawhi Leonard is the best player in the East. And
this is a horrible matchup for Philly, bro.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, Kawhi Leonard had 45 points. He shot 16 of 23 from the field, 10 of 11 from the free throw line, had 11 rebounds, a steal, and a block and 2 steals. Man, what a performance from Kawhi Leonard, huh?
He's just heating up. He's just getting started. This is a horrible matchup for Philly in the terms of Pascal Siakam and Kawhi can give you buckets and lock you up on the other end. Marc Gasol is a very, very good defender.
He's crafty. Right. He's not athletic. He's not the strongest guy, but he knows where to be. He knows footwork.
Exactly. So, like, Joel Embiid, you're not going to bully him. You're just not. You're not going to have your way with him like you do with Brooklyn Nets bigs. He's going to make you play defense. And then Toronto has a deep bench. And this is a horrible matchup for Philly. I can see them getting swept.
They didn't even need their bench in this game. Their bench only scored 10 points, too. So just think about that.
Yeah. Like, they have multiple bigs they can throw at Joel Embiid, Ibaka, Gasol. It's a terrible matchup. I can totally see them getting swept. And the thing is, you can put Kawhi in any 4 of their top guys, and Kawhi is going to strap them the fuck up.
Who was Kawhi guarding? Tobias?
Yeah, Tobias and Jimmy.
Yeah, if he was probably guarding Tobias primarily, I would assume. I don't know. I gotta look at that.
Yeah, but they have no answer for Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard is going to have his way in the series. No one on that team can guard him. Yeah,
I mean, who was guarding him? Jimmy?
Yeah, and the guy still has points.
Yeah, Kawhi is just he's got the mid-range shot locked down. He's got a mid-range like Kobe and Jordan, and he's got handles, and he can go to the rim at will. He can post you up. There's so many things that Kawhi can do. It's not fair.
The Raptors have a championship caliber talent, and Kawhi Leonard. That guy can win you a championship. He's already a champion.
Yeah, and they have like the fastest big man in the league in Pascal Siakam as well. That dude is incredible how quick he gets up and down the court.
Folks, I'm even saying this right now. Even if the Bucks or my Celtics advance, nobody stands a chance against this guy if he's at full strength. There's a reason people were calling him the second best player in the world a few years ago, because he's literally unstoppable when he's all right and healthy.
He's just reminding everybody now why he is a top 5 player.
Yeah.
In case you all forgot, Kawhi Leonard is a top 5 player in the NBA.
And he's freaking dangerous. Like, he can lock you up and do anything he wants on offense.
I think Siakam, too. Like, he shot 12 of 15 in this game, 29 points.
Listen, he's definitely my vote for most improved player.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal this year. He's been phenomenal all year. Danny Green was playing his usual good defense. Kyle Lowry was there. He had 9 points. I mean, he's somewhat there. I mean, he had 8 assists, so he's making his impact felt. Do you think they really need Kyle Lowry to win this series, though?
No, but they will in the next series.
Yeah.
Regardless of what team they'll play. Boston, Milwaukee, they'll definitely need Kyle Lowry to be more aggressive and step up. Because if they don't have an aggressive Kyle Lowry in the next round, they will lose.
And what do you think is Philadelphia's key to victory? If they're gonna win this series, what do you think they have to do better?
Ben Simmons. That is a complete mismatch on Kyle Lowry.
Was he guarding Ben?
I don't even remember, but they need to abuse that.
Whoever is guarding Ben, they need to abuse it. But I mean, where do you They don't have a lot of shooting. You know, the only knockdown shooter they have is Redick.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know what else adjustments they can make because this is a horrible, horrible matchup for them.
Yeah, they've got Tobias Harris is a good shooter. He's not a great shooter. Embiid, the less 3-point shots Embiid takes, the better. Jimmy Butler can shoot threes. He's not great. Jimmy Butler works better in the ISO game. I think they got to find a way to get him some easy buckets.
Yeah.
I think that's key. They got to find some way to get easy buckets for him. Ben has got to get in there. I think the key to me is just getting Ben and Jimmy more involved. Run some pick and roll with them, and then let the game come to Embiid. Don't force feed him the ball.
Yeah, but
it's gonna happen.
Yeah, Embiid's not even healthy.
He's not. Yeah, he's not. He only played 30 minutes in this game.
It's hard. I keep going back. It's a horrible matchup for them because it really is.
I think they got to put Redick on the bench and bring him off the bench as a spark.
They do because it's becoming a liability issue at this point defensively.
Like, who do you start though? If you take Redick out, I mean, who do you start there? You start McConnell? I don't know. James Ennis? I don't know who you start.
That's the problem. They don't have the depth or the flexibility to make that change. They don't. They could go with somebody who I think is actually a pretty decent player, Jonathan Simmons. But I don't know if they want to pull him out of the woodwork.
He didn't even see the court last game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you start him, and you're getting kind of desperate. But desperate times call for desperate measures.
It's the playoffs, man. It's all about adjustments.
Yeah, exactly. It's the most exciting time of the year for NBA, for us NBA fans.
I love it, bro. I've been watching all the games.
Yeah, I've been catching as many as I can. Wow, yeah, this is going by quick. I mean, what do you think? So what are your predictions for all four of these matchups?
Raptors will win in 4. Denver, Portland goes 7. I'm gonna go with Portland. Houston, Golden State goes 7. Go 6. I'm gonna go with Golden State. And Boston and Milwaukee, I'm always gonna be ride or die with my team. Celtics in 6. Ride or die.
Yeah, I mean, either way, both those teams are playing for the privilege to get bodied by Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I just don't think anybody's gonna stop that guy. I mean, they've been resting him all year for this moment now, and they were resting him often, and they still came in. They still had second best record in the East. So I think a lot of people forget about that Kawhi didn't play all 82 games.
They traded him for this moment.
Yeah, this is what they got him for, and he delivered big time. But I think Philly will find a way to stop him. He's not going to score 45 next game. I mean, if he does, then he's just a freak of nature. But I don't think it's going to happen. 2 games in a row where he's going to go 45.
Kawhi's getting 30 plus the next game. I'm calling it now. They can't stop him. They cannot stop him.
I think if Embiid was healthy, they'd probably have a better chance of stopping him.
No. Even if he was healthy. I saw Kawhi Leonard the last playoff game against as a Spur against Golden State. Literally have 25 at the half easily against the best defense in the league.
Easily. You heard it here. So,
No one can that guy.
Let me see if there's anything else worth talking about. Did you hear about the Luke Walton situation?
Yeah, I didn't care. Like, he's irrelevant to me.
Yeah, it's just kind of... I just hate seeing those things, whether they're true or not. It's just... I hope it's all situated.
Yeah.
Sucks. It's really unfortunate seeing things like that.
Yeah, get a new job and you get a sexual harassment case, what it?
For real, man. And I know we talked about this last week, but Westbrook's out. They got bounced again in the first round. Do you think the Thunder need to move on from him?
No, they're not. Even if they wanted to, they can't. They have too much money invested in him. No one's going to take that contract. And he's their guy. He's the last piece remaining from that nucleus of James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Russell Westbrook, and Serge Ibaka. He's the last bit remaining for that nucleus. They have to keep that because then they're literally... If they trade Westbrook, they are literally admitting the Harden mistake with the trade. They fucked up.
Right, and then not keeping Kevin Durant, too. They're just admitting all their faults.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy when you look back, like hindsight being 2020. It's kind of crazy when you look back that Westbrook's the only one of those three standing on that team.
Listen, Blazers learned from their lumps in the road of consistently. Maybe it'll finally kick in with Westbrook. Because he's a ridiculously talented player. But he's also a detriment to his team. The thing he does sometimes. He needs to look himself in the mirror and adjust his game. It is time.
Yeah, he's gotta add the extra 5-6 years to his game by adding that mid-range shot in a post game.
Yeah, because you either or just early exit rounds for the rest of your career. And for the love of God, please, OKC, get some fucking shooters.
Hopefully they draft one.
This is a joke at this point.
Seriously. All right, so the last thing I want to talk about before we get out of here, we have not touched on this yet, but a few weeks ago we witnessed the last game for two legends of this sport, Dirk Nowitzki and Dwayne Wade. Man, can you think of a year where we had two legends like this retire at the same time?
No, I really can't. I can't recall. I mean, they were such both important players for basketball and the culture. I mean, I don't think we'll ever see a big like Nowitzki. Wade just had connected the youth, and his style of play was just so transcendent that he just took it to another level.
Yeah, Dwayne Wade made a lot of Miami Heat fans. A lot of players from this generation have talked about how important Dwayne Wade was to their career and how influential he was just watching him play.
Yeah.
It's surprising. Do you think Dirk is the best power forward ever? Top three for sure. In my book, it's top three.
Top three for sure. I mean, he is the original unicorn.
Right. That's true. Yeah, I don't know if he was as athletic, as quick off the foot as Porzingis is, but man, what he could do in the post and that jump shot, just incredible. Yeah. He changed the game. He literally changed the game in a lot of ways.
Because there was nothing like him before.
And the coolest thing about him, too, is that he played, 20 seasons with the Mavericks? Played with one team his whole career.
Yeah, homegrown talent. Won a championship with them, so his career was fulfilled. They always took care of him. He was their cornerstone, their franchise guy for 20 years consecutively.
And he gets a lot of flack for that. Do you think that he should have maybe jumped off the ship, went towards the end and tried to win a championship elsewhere?
No, it's because at the end of the day, he's an athlete and he's an employee. He gets to choose where he wants to work. He wanted to work there.
All right, no, I'm saying, do you think he should have jumped ship, though, and tried to get a chip somewhere else? Do you think, that'll be a black cloud that hangs over his legacy?
No. He was mad. Cause it's you leave teams when you feel like the culture and the team hasn't taken care of you and they're not putting you in positions to win. Mark Cuban literally would rebuild and try to build title contenders around Dirk every year after they won a title. Like from like signing guys to like OJ Mayo, for like trading for guys like Rondo and putting Tyson Chandler back. They really tried to adjust the roster and get multiple guys to win with Dirk. It just didn't work out. Not everybody can win the championship, but they did everything they could for Dirk, and vice versa.
Yeah, and regarding Dwayne Wade, would you put him behind Kobe or behind Jordan and Kobe on the shooting guard top shooting guards list?
He's
would you
top
put
4.
him number 3?
Yeah, he's top 4.
Who else would you put in there? Ray Allen?
No, I'd put James Harden ahead of him right now.
You would put Harden 3 and Wade 4?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough because I think Harden has changed the game. You know, in terms of like his foul calls, the way he's able to draw for contact,
Exactly.
and his step back 3. I don't think Wade had that impact on the game as a whole.
He was never a great shooter. He got better at shooting like his last 2 or 3 years. If he had that in his arsenal, he would have been unstoppable.
What he did so well, you know, was his athleticism, and once he lost that, he lost a lot of his game. You know, once his knees gave out on him, but he was just so likable and so popular that really carried him.
Yeah, and he had swag, and he bridged that gap between fashion. He was just another person that bridged that gap between music, fashion, and sports.
Yeah, he did it right, and he always gave 100%. And you know, as someone that grew up in South Florida, I mean, Dwayne Wade was the man around here.
Honorable career, man. 3 rings, multiple-time All-Star. He did it all.
Yes, sir. All right, well,
they will be missed.
Yeah, they both will be. Yeah, we'll never see another Dirk or D Wade, and I was glad they got the respect they deserved.
Most definitely.
Yes, sir. All right, well, we're winding down here. Anything else you want to say or throw in?
Just like, comment, and subscribe, guys. We'll be back.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe we'll have some wrestling content to talk about at some point.
If it gets better, sure.
Yeah, I think Double or Nothing's coming up, so we'll be talking about that. Oh yeah, let's talk about that for just 1 second.
Now,
I gotta ask you one thing. AEW has not announced a pay-per-view provider yet for Double or Nothing, so that leads me to speculate that they may land a deal with like a premium company like HBO.
I mean, if they were to do that, they're literally changing the landscape. Honestly, if they were to do it, they're changing the landscape. Even if it's Netflix, they're changing the landscape.
Yeah, Netflix. That would be crazy. Netflix doesn't do pay-per-view, so I don't know how that would work. But yeah, we'll talk about that later though. It's coming up.
That'd be game changer though. Game changer.
Yes, sir. All right, well, let's get out of here. Till next week.